Mm. All right. I'm going to get started. I guess today nobody wants to participate, or either I'm not showing up on the live feed, but I know I am because I checked my phone. Yeah, so I'm not going to sit here for 5 minutes waiting in silence. So when you join, you're going to have to do the replay. And as I always say, if you clicked on the link from Facebook, make sure you click on the dots in the top corner and join the live, join on the browser or YouTube app so that you can see the live chat. Yes. So last week I did not get a chance to complete my thoughts and what I learned here in Africa. It was my 2 year anniversary last weekend on the 5th of November. And so this week I'm just going to go over that list of the things that I have learned and accomplished and not accomplished since I've been here on the continent. I am currently in Ghana. If you are new to my channel, and you're watching the replay, um, I've been in Ghana since May. When I got here, I started off in Zanzibar, and I moved to the mainland, Tanzania, however you want to pronounce it. Then I took a little backpacking trip and I ended up in Kenya because I could not get back into Tanzania. And we had all sorts of visa issues in East Africa. So I had previously visited Ghana in 2019. So I had a 5 year visa. And I decided to just come over here and ride that visa out and try to make a decision as to what it is I want to do next. Because if you know me, even when I was in the United States, I moved around a lot. I find that's what makes me happy. So, in all things, um, do what makes you happy. So, as I get started here, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Give thanks all the time. Alhamdulillah to Allah. And I shall get this party started. Um, yes. So, anyway, here in Ghana, I had a list. I don't know what happened to it. I made another list, but that list looks a little angry, but that's okay. We'll wing it as I always do. Okay, so anyway, so some of the things that, you know, We got some stuff going on in the US. It's not like it never stopped. It's always been going on. But at the same time, we have things that are going on here in Africa. We as a people, we have a hard way to go for some strange reason. We can't get it together. So, over the course of the couple of years, I've learned that Africans have some type of thought about African Americans, and African Americans have some type of thought process about Africans. Also, as a tutor of English online with international students, most people have this narrow minded vision of what Africa represents and what the people and the culture is like in Africa. Even before I came to Africa for the first time in 2019, I found that the very people that have programmed us to think ill of Africa and Africa's ill of Americans, African Americans, are the very people that have been vacationing and being missionaries on the continent of Africa. So it's like, I don't know. I've only been to 7 countries. There's 54 countries, but there's really nowhere that you can go on this continent that you don't see Europeans and Asian people, foreigners that don't look like you. They all up in here, but for some reason, my people are afraid to, for the most part, to come to this continent, whether they say they can't stand the plane ride, Africans don't like us, XYZ, and all you know is what you've seen on TV, which is probably the furthest thing from the truth. And like I said before in a previous video, they show everybody, I found out all over the world, these feed the children videos. And the same little child, he should be a grown-up by now with a little pot belly. I've yet to see those type of people. Yes, there's drought in some areas over in northern Kenya and Ethiopia or somewhere. But for the most part, the infrastructure is in place. They got high rises, they got highways, they got high this and high that. Same thing that they have in the Americas and the US and the UK and wherever, Europe, United States. Yes. Is the culture different? Yes, it is. The only reason that your culture is greatly different in the United States is because during slavery, your original culture was beat out of you, regardless of where you think you came from or where the slave came from, if they was already there, if they got there by a boat or however, whatever. Everything that you knew was beaten out of you, including your name, your religion, everything. They went so far as to separate people that could communicate with each other that spoke the same dialect for fear that there would be an uprising. There's always been a fear of us. So one message that, pass along, get it together, open your eyes and realize that the fear, there's a reason why you are oppressed as a people. You are divided as a people because that fear is if we come together, if we wake up and come together, nobody will be able to F with us. Real talk. So I'm going to say about that. Nights in Egypt. How are you, my dear? What's it? Good morning. I post pictures of high rises. I love Kigali. Yes, Kigali. I have not been there. I'm going to get to some of that stuff in just a second. Here. Welcome. Thank you to the people that are showing up. Like I said, if you clicked this link from, sorry, no, I posted on here that I'm live. If you click the link from Facebook, make sure that you enter into your browser or the YouTube app so that you can see the live chat. Come in and say hello and, let me know where you're watching from. Welcome. By all means, welcome, 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 my wonderful water lilies. So back on to this story. I am living in my 3rd country since I've been here in 2020. I am here because of visa issues. I had a 5-year visa, but I was having issues with visas in East Africa. And so I just decided to come ride it out over here and then figure out what needs to be done. in the meantime, I got caught up in some situations, and quite honestly, the things, it whatever was the reason and the rationale behind it, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And so, as it stands right now, I'm trying to get some things situated, established, so that I can go, move around to wherever I want to move around. And, that would be my passive income. Yes, it took me 2 years to kind of figure some stuff out. I was speaking with a friend of mine, an old friend, and we were talking about some things. She mentioned my cosmetic line. I really have no interest in doing that cosmetic line now, simply because of shipping and all that stuff in from here to the U.S. Because I'm actually in a place where shea butter is made by hand in some of these villages, and the problem also with that is, the big conglomerates are coming in and they're producing this shea butter with machines, which is smothering out the smaller people from the villages, and stopping their business. I would love to have an export business for the shea butter and the baskets and stuff, but it's too much of a hassle. For instance, I just I received a package from the U.S. Granted, I don't know what my friend put in that package because it's still not physically in my hands, but the package weighed 10 pounds. The package weighed 10 pounds and it cost $115 to send it here from the United States. So, these are things that you have to take into consideration. There's like the option to buy a container. A container takes forever to get from here to the US. Just, different stuff, different thought process for those of you that want to do stuff like that. I'm not really interested, but yeah. So anyway, one of the things in all three countries that I've actually stayed in, and quite honestly, I maybe because I didn't get out as much. Yeah, I did. I take that back. It did happen one time in Uganda, but every country that I've been in on this continent, they think because you are American, you are rich. And I've spoke about it before. So this is my 2 year, finishing my 2 year, what I learned, what I think about. Oh my gosh. Somebody go on Facebook and tell my cousin Ginger that I am live on YouTube. Um, sorry. Sorry. Okay, so yes, $115 to send 10 pounds. So um, everybody thinks that we are rich. You American, you're rich. And I spoke about that before. I spoke about it in a recent video where a young lady from South Africa was like, oh, all we seen, once we got TV was the Cosbys and the rap videos and all this stuff. And then nextly, you have the differences in our societies, in our cultures. Last weekend, I had my neighbor on, and she spoke about, in particular, women from the United States that come over here and try to date the men. And when they want to do stuff or, different things, the woman from America says, oh, don't worry about it. I got it. That's a thing, and that's an issue. And I just went through a situation, where I was trying to tell somebody, please stop tossing coins like that, because it's going to be a trickle down effect. And now people going to hate me because they can't have what I got. Real simple. The answer is no. And so the difference, why we look so appealing, if you don't know, you may assume or make assumptions, but let me just give you the skinny on it. These people here get paid once a month. They get paid once a month. And for those of you that are retired and on disability, you get it. You got to make that money last. Hey, Nettie, you got to make that money last the whole month before you get your next paycheck. Well, guess what? The amount of money that even the professional people here make in a month is super low. It's super low considering. And The only reason why it's okay over here is because they're not being price gouged for stuff. Like we go to the emergency room. If you don't have health insurance, there's what, $16,000 right there just for them to look up in your nose and say, oh, you got an upper respiratory infection. Or you look in your booty and say you got an ear infection. I'm just saying, run that $16,000. It's unheard of. When I was in Tanzania, I went to the doctor. I had the doctor visit, the blood work, and 3 or 4 prescriptions. And it cost me I think $10. It was like 25 or 40 Tanzanian shillings, which was equivalent to about $10 or something like that. The prescription, I just went and got my medicine from the pharmacy. It ain't the medicine that I want, but I'll use it. And it's like 35 CDs, which at this point is less than $3. No health insurance. But for a local person that's only making maybe 1,000 CDs a month or 500 CDs a month, which is about the average, and that's less than $50 to $100, less than, because it's over 13 CDs for every $1 now. That's a strain because they have to budget. But they're accustomed. This is the way they live. This is the way they're living their life. Me, on the other hand, I tutor English online. I get paid every week. So it looked like I always got, just plenty of dough. I don't. I got them little Cambly dollars, but it goes a long way because I don't have to go all month before I get the next dollar. I just got to go to the next week. And so it makes you look real fabulous, and it makes you a likely candidate for the B to the S. So as I was saying to somebody, don't worry about if this one over here trying to make me a 4th wife, because now that that's dissolved, I got 2 or 3 more standing in line, think that they need to make me their wife. And I don't know why, because that's the culture here. They don't want women to be by themselves. And you really, really looking real good because you're from America. But guess what? I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered. And if you watching this video and if you stalking this video for a friend, let them know that if you can't take care of me, because I'm not giving up nothing, I'm not cooking, I'm not doing nothing, then just, keep it moving. You can't change me. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Real simple. And I mean, it's just like, it's not just the men are like, oh, hey, Amina. Even the women like, ooh, you are so beautiful, and I want to introduce you to my brother or my brother-in-law. I want you to marry my brother. And I'm just like laughing, like, what? And then they get offended because they're serious. They dead ass serious. And I'm just like, oh, okay, let's you keep it moving because I can't do nothing for y'all. So with all of that, I think it's time for me to be checking where to go next. I'm in a lovely house. I'm minding my own business. That's the next thing. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. They can't understand how or why I can just sit up in here and not come outside. I come out once a week to go to the market. First of all, it's scalding hot outside. Second of all, I'm busy. I'm busy doing me. I'm busy minding my own business. Like Africans love to gossip. They love, love, love to gossip. I'm busy minding my own business. I don't care what the next person is doing. If I don't feel like cooking, I won't. I got plenty of fruit and crackers and cheese to eat, expensive cheese because they don't really like cheese here. But all of that, it's foreign to them, minding their own business. Like the young lady was saying, if you marry someone here, basically, as a woman, and you marry a Ghanaian man, you marrying, and probably in most African cultures, you marrying the whole family. I'm not that friendly. I'm not that friendly. Most days I don't like to get dressed. I don't like to be bothered. I don't like to be bothered. I've gotten old and cranky. And so I just sit here. I came here to relax and to chill out, not to be consumed with the whole dating game. My time has passed. Why don't you go find somebody that can have some babies? That's another thing. The women here have babies well into their later years. Like in the US, you'd be like, oh, this is my late life baby, my oops, my menopausal baby. No, they are intentionally having babies here, like into their 40s or 50s. I can't with y'all. I can't with that at all, ever, never, ever. So, you know, these are things that it's not okay. So even from Africa to the United States, there's a huge difference between East Africa and West Africa. And not for nothing, let me go on record as stating I miss East Africa. Okay. I doubt if they will ever let me back in Tanzania. I don't know why, and I don't really care. It would be nice. I wonder if Zanzibar is on the same trip. They're the same, but they're different. But Kenya would be nice. And I have a list of countries that I'm maybe considering: Kenya, Botswana, and where else? Maybe I don't know about Uganda. Uganda. So those three definitely I would consider um, the differences between East Africa and West Africa. Go back anytime. They hold grudge. Tata, they hold grudges because they won't let me back in. But it's not that for lack of trying. They blocked me. I'm on the list. I'm on the list. So I'm on the list of don't you bring yourself back to our country. I don't know what I did, but it's all good. But the difference is, let's say, okay, so let's start because we got a laundry list of differences. Now, I spent the majority of my time in Tanzania, Zanzibar, then Tanzania. And then I only spent like, 2 months in Kenya. And then I came here to Ghana. So even Kenya, first and foremost, here in Ghana, I don't feel healthy. Okay, so y'all that's been following me, I dropped a lot of weight. When I came here, I couldn't take 3 steps without trying to get some oxygen. I was huge. I thought they was going to charge me for 2 seats when I left the United States. However, when I got here, it was no thing. It was no big deal. Market. I go to the market at least once a week, sometimes twice, because one thing in either place, you cannot stockpile like we do in the US because your box stuff will have bugs in it. Your fruit will go bad. Your fruit and vegetables will go bad, even if you put it in a refrigerator, because stuff is pure here. It's pure and wholesome. So while I was in East Africa, I had no shortage. Let me say for the record, I had no shortage of fresh fruit and vegetables. I was the queen of mangoes, bananas. I even started eating watermelon. And when I was in the US, I did not like watermelon at all. I did not eat watermelon. Papaya, or pawpaw as they call it. Apples were still expensive. I had grapes. I had avocados. I love avocados. Here, not only can I not get avocado, can't get no regular potatoes if it's off season. I didn't know potatoes had a season. Can't get no green vegetables. The only thing green over here is cucumbers, bell peppers, cabbage, and a bitter leaf or something that they eat. Oh, and okra. I don't eat okra. I can't get no spinach, no collards, no mustards, no turnips, none of that stuff. And off season, no avocados. Right now, they got sweet potatoes. You like American orange sweet potatoes, not the cocoa yam. They got sweet potatoes, and it's this one lady. It's like she be hiding them. She have regular potatoes, but I don't even want to eat them. I don't want to eat them. I'm used to now eating red onion. There's some people that have sweet yellow onion, but other than that, it's like it's a world of different. I don't even feel healthy. So you have I would walk to the market when I was in Arusha and pick and choose cauliflower, broccoli, spinach, different kinds of spinach, all my fruits and everything. Now I'm probably that I think of it. I'm just sitting up here just simmering, boiling because I eat a lot of stuff with sugar in it and just to kill the appetite. And I eat a lot of meat. So I'm probably having the meat sweats. I don't know. Okay, so let me see what you're saying here. No, that I don't take that. It's just corrupted official. I promise you, he wanted and he wanted the lucky. What is lucky moja? So sometimes they like to do things. Go back to Nairobi, and then for my family member, he is an official to Tanzania. Yeah, Arusha from Nairobi. You'll stamp your visa. Share with me. I can find out from. Okay, you get with me because I'm serious. It's so bad that I've actually considered going to Europe. So let me continue my list. So I know it's going to offend some people. I don't really care because I thought that they had kind of got it together because the president here had went out and bought these sanitation vehicles. I think he bought like 100 and something sanitation vehicles. They don't even come pick up the garbage like once a week. They come like twice a month, I think. The people here are accustomed to throwing the garbage out in the field. So we got a little pit. It's a little, little dip. I guess they dug it out or something. And we throw the garbage in there. They're supposed to set it on fire. We're coming out of the rainy season. And so this is the excuse that I've been given because I'm going to tell you my thought process in just a second. And my thought was confirmed. It's rainy. You can't set it on fire. The stuff is too wet. It's not going to burn. Now that the rainy season is over, granted, it poured down raining yesterday. Everything is turning brown because it's so hot and it's so dry. If we set a fire, all that's going to catch fire. So I was like, garbage brings rats, mice, whatever you want to call it. I guarantee you, if I see one up in this camp, I'm moving. That's just about. I don't like that. You understand that that's unhealthy. It's just unhealthy. And so yesterday we were standing out there. The little kids had started a fire, and they kind of lost control of it. And y'all, that fire was roaring. I could hear it crackling and moving. It was like an invisible force running through the grass, and you could hear it. And I was like, is it coming to us? Because this thing come from that side of the road to this side of the road, and they out there just beating it, trying to get the fire out. Why would you set a fire in this dry stuff? Everything that was beautiful, lush, and green when I got here is brown because it's hot as fire and it's dry. The neighbor came by and he stopped and spoke and he said something about some piles of bricks. And I don't know if they're getting ready to build another house, but there's some piles of bricks out there scattered about just past where we dump our garbage. And he said, yeah, they out there, they move the bricks to the side looking for rats. Excuse me? What? I know y'all like bushmeat, but what did he just say? They move the bricks to the side. They're looking for rats. The rats camp out under these bricks. I guess they make their little house up under these piles of bricks. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm straight. That's why I say, do something with the garbage. And I may have to go just find me a little barrel and throw my garbage in it and burn it in the barrel because even it's not going to stop anything because I have 2 other neighbors in there and I'm sure they still keep taking their garbage over there and dumping it in the hole. The goats get in it. The chickens get in it. Next thing you know, it's all blown down the road. So if you're on my Facebook page and you see me post the pictures of the beautiful sunrise, I've got a perfect view of the sunrise, but I have to crop the picture and take the bottom off of it because all the garbage that's just up and down the road. I've been here since May. I'm still looking for garbage bags in the store. I haven't seen any. So I take my bags that I go shopping with and I throw the garbage in it. I tie it up and I throw it. And as soon as I throw it in the pile, here come the goats. Because I guess they know I got some good stuff. If I see one bug, it's going in the garbage. I don't give a damn who offended. I don't eat bugs. I ain't got nothing against nobody else that can ignore what you call them, boll weevil or whatever it is in your meal, we ain't got no cornmeal, in your flour or your Gary or whatever. To different thing, not grow it in Ghana. The things that it's so hot here. It's just so hot. So one thing is our fruits are not covered in wax like in the United States. It's not full of dyes to make them perfectly yellow or perfectly orange. Some of the sweetest oranges I ever ate in my life was green. The lemons, the lime. They got little tiny ones. They got big ones. I don't know which one is which because they all green. Everything. And so, let's see. Yeah, so that's a difference. I mean, when you go to the markets in Kenya, and I was on the coast of Kenya, I was in Mombasa, the Mombasa area. I was in Diani Beach, and then I left Zanzibar, Jambiani and Zanzibar. I used to go to Stone Town to the market or Paji, and then I came to Dar es Salaam, and I could just walk up and down the street and get what I need. And then I moved to Arusha, and I would go to town to the market and get whatever. But you're driving down the street and you're seeing all this beautiful color, the reddest of tomatoes, green vegetables, yellow, whatever, just colorful, beautiful, big, juicy fruit and vegetables. Here, not so much. The tomatoes is the fake out. They'll put the good ones on top. They'll like have a coffee can or something, and they'll stack them up in there, and they'll put the pretty ones on top. But you better look at the bottom of the pretty ones because they're going bad. And the problem is nothing grows up here. Corn, cocoa yam, and ground nuts. Those are the only things that grow up in this region. You don't start till you get to central Ghana and southern Ghana, where I guess it's a little more moisture in the ground because they get closer to the coast where the fruit and vegetables grow. By the time it gets up here, it's just, I don't know. I've had mangoes on a few different occasions and eat from different places. Each time they have worms in them. And I'm just like, ugh. This is just my experience. I go to the market every week. I walk around. I try to find things, different stuff. And so I did get spoiled. Where in Tanzania, I could come out of my gate and walk down about 5 houses or so. And there was a shop. There was a young lady that I would shop with throughout the week in between my weekly visits to town, to the big market, and get fruit and vegetables. She had pineapples, watermelon, papaya. She had everything, onions. Sometimes she would be running low and it would be the scraps that's left. And she'd say, no, don't get that or whatever. Okay, cool. Good looking out. Not try to be slick and sell me something and not show me the moldy side, because I'm going to see it and I'm going to be mad and I'm not going to buy nothing. And so, that's the big difference. So like I said, since I've been here, I eat a lot of meat. And this is they eat ugali in East Africa. Ugali is like, for us in the Americas, ugali is like a ball of grits if you want to compare it to something. And it's pretty good. So over here, they eat banku and fufu and TZ and, all these things that pounded yam, millet and whatever. And they eat like, when you get food, you get a big old thing of fufu, and you get a lot of liquid and one little piece of meat. So the young lady, she didn't like my beans the other day because I had all sorts of meat in them beans because I don't eat no vegetables. I got beans and rice and gari. They all white. Gari is ground cassava or cocoa yam, one or the other. It looks like cornmeal, but it's not. And so you doctor it up, put some onions and salt or whatever in it, and no green vegetables. But I've come to eat a lot of bell peppers. I hate bell peppers, but I eat a lot of them because they're green. So the struggle is real, and they have their own way of cooking and eating things. Like when I was in Nairobi, there was a young doctor that was from southern Ghana, and he was like, "Ooh, the food over here is not that good." Well, they season everything with stockfish and crawfish powder over here, and you don't know. I hated fish until I was an adult because my mother cooked fish all the time, but I didn't like the smell or the taste. And so for you to season everything with fish and fish powder, it's a problem. Granted, yes, I can cook my own food. So if I cook my own food, that means fried chicken or chicken and rice. That's what I eat. I try to eat beef. Beef is tough as leather. But the other day I stabbed and beat and stabbed and beat and stabbed and beat. It wasn't as tough, but I didn't like the flavor because you don't cook. You cook your steaks, you put it in the oven or you put it on a grill. So it's not that I'm unhappy or anything. It's just not. It's not. I'm not compatible. And so when I was in Boga with my friend, he cooks very well. And I had to tell him, I don't eat, I'm fat, but I don't eat fufu like that. Like you give me a fufu as big as my head, I can't eat all that. So, and that's one of the reasons why they eat fufu. It's known as a filler. And if you eat with people or eat at places here, you get a big thing of fufu or two things of banku, about that size, two of them. You get the liquid and you get a little piece of meat. So this is how their diet is. I'm like, where's the green vegetables? They will make you a salad. I don't eat that. They give you lettuce with maybe onion in it, and they put pork and beans and tuna in the salad. Who does that? Like, is it pork and beans? Yes, they're pork and beans. So anyway, they have weird taste buds here. So I'm not dissing Ghana. I love Ghana. I cut my teeth on Ghana. This was the first country that I visited when I came to Africa in 2019. And yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. Now in the South, my issue was everything had ginger in it, lots of ginger. Up here, everything got fish seasoning, and they cook stuff differently. To each their own. I'm just not with it. So I eat a lot of oatmeal. Eat a lot of oatmeal and yogurt, popcorn, because I took the chicken out today. I was gonna throw it in a pot with some rice and boil it. I'm just over it. It's too hot. It's too hot, and other than that, they kill you with peppers. These little Scotch bonnet peppers. So I can put maybe one or two peppers if I buy them in a thing. They'll put like 10 or 15 peppers in one pot, and I'm like, shit, no wonder I can't eat this stuff. It's too freaking hot, tearing up my stomach. I'm like, whatever. And Tada, my email is in the About tab. You can get my email out of there, or, um, yeah, I think my Instagram is also on there. So you can do either my Instagram, but if you come on Instagram, please let me know who you are in the message because I will ignore you. Sorry, but it's the truth. Okay, so the next difference is and it's also, like I said, it's different from the west from the east and from the north to the south. So we have something called Melcom. Melcom is expensive and the stuff is like not good quality. I'm just saying. Mickey Mart, they have Mickey Mart, and then they got these Indian markets. The stuff is not really of good quality. So I have gotten oats from a couple of places and they had bugs in it when I opened it, because it's hot here and the stuff is sitting on the shelf. And a lot of people here just don't go shop at these supermarkets. They go to the market. And what I can't understand is why does the stuff in the store have bugs in it, but the big old bowl of flour and Gary and beans that's sitting out in the open with nothing on it don't got no bugs in it. Amazing. So I don't know. So, and plus, when you go into the brick and mortar stores, stuff is ridiculously expensive. And so things, they don't eat cheese. They're not big fans of cheese here. So cheese is expensive. Apparently they're not big fans of pure butter either because butter is ridiculously expensive. But that little cheapo depot margarine, nasty margarine stuff that they eat, blue something, is disgusting. It's cheap and it's reasonable, but you throw that in the skillet, it don't even melt. Like, what is this? The stuff is not healthy here. And I'm greedy. I like to eat. I like to eat. It's just real simple. So those are some of the things. Now, what I do like, there's plenty of tuk-tuks, yellows, can-dos, whatever you want to call it here. There we had them in Kenya, but in Tanzania, in Arusha, they weren't allowed out of downtown. That's my mode of travel. I got my own personal tuk-tuk driver, and so I like that. I'd rather travel like that than in a car. So, um, Yeah. Let's see. Let me read some comments. Mtada is loading me up here. GPT said, yeah, via Russia. Stamp visa, share with me. I can find out my family member. He is immigration official. Get to Tanzania. Yeah, Russia, share. I can find information. So, not a I know Tanzania, we have so much fruit. Even Kenyans import from Tanzania. Yeah. And so I think the only issue with Tanzania and Kenya was something about the corn or something. And when I was there, they put a ban on Kenya exporting corn into Tanzania. Not for nothing. I almost said Tanzania almost has the right to be like picky and choosy about who and what they let into their country because they kind of got it going on. And I say that from a standpoint of I get a report every day from World Remit, the exchange rate. And one thing for sure, Tanzania's exchange rate pretty much has not budged. Okay. When I was there, I think it was like 2,400 Tanzanian shillings to every $1. Now it's down to 22.92 or something like that. And it has not moved. Kenya shillings has gone from 100 to 116 Kenya shillings for every $1. And Ghana's CD has doubled since I've been here, just since May. Since May, it was 7 CDs per dollar in May, and now it's like almost 14. And it's just, I'm like, what Tanzania knows something that nobody else knows because their economy is holding. Also, during the pandemic, Tanzania didn't shut down. That's how I was able to leave the United States and get into Africa because they said, we ain't shutting down nothing. We didn't wear no mask. We didn't do nothing. It was business as usual. Kenya shut down, kind of, but they had some rules and regulations in place. Ghana shut all the way down. And then when they opened up, they said you needed the jab to get into the country, which caused a lot of people that were trying to come or were going to come to Ghana. They changed their mind and they refused to come. So there goes your economy. How do you do something like that when your economy is a lot of it, you trying to get it to be tourism? In 2019, you made a killing off of the year return. And so people were still lining up to come into Ghana, but you shut it down. You said you were going to fine the airlines if they brought in people that weren't vaccinated. I've had people tell me, well, sis, I was going to come, but I'm not coming now because you need the jab and I'm not taking the jab. I took it. I took the Chinese one in Tanzania because I knew that I was coming this way. So they made it hard. Tanzania was like, come on, we're going to screw you over, but come on. We ain't shutting down nothing. Business as usual. And their economy is proof that they did the right thing. Now, Kenya, like I said, Kenya wasn't totally shut down. When you came into Kenya, you had to have that mask on. We didn't have on no mask in Tanzania. Nothing was shut down. You was free to come and go as you please. Kenya, you needed the mask. And then at a couple of times the borders were closed, but they opened them back up. And so, like I said, their numbers are proof. I'm not any type of financial guru or economist or nothing like that, but I know what I know just from being here, and I can see the difference. And the CD is just steadily depreciating, and the struggle is real. The gas prices are ridiculously high here. Just all sorts of stuff. The price of butter. I know you're like, what is CDs? I just told you how much it is. So when I first started off, little thing of butter, we get the blocks, the little brick of butter in the US. Well, half of that, I don't know how much that is, but half of that was like 30 CDs when I first got here. Then it went up to 36. The other day, she told me 65 CDs. I only been here since May, y'all. I was like, what? And I'm addicted to butter. I did real good for a long time and not eat butter, but I'm back to my addiction of butter. I love butter. Absolutely love butter. But I was like, at these prices, F that. I'm not eating no butter. Y'all tripping. Cheese is high. It's like, okay, I ain't got no dates. I ain't got no cashews because I was making my own cashew milk in Tanzania. I was totally freaking healthy in Tanzania. Now I'm back to swollen ankles and headaches because They got iodized salt. I can't find no Himalayan salt. They got just I can't call it. Anyway, so that's some of the differences, mainly the healthy portions of food, the modes of transportation. Everybody's on the take. They think you're American, so everybody try to raise the price and get over on you. It's the same across the table for that. Um, it's just let me see what else. So one of the things in my journey for Islam, so in East Africa, they was like, oh, you women are not required to go to mosque. You don't have to go to mosque. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I can deal with that. Over here, they're like, who told you that everybody got to go to mosque? So it's expected for you to go to mosque on Fridays. But since I've been in this house, I ain't been nowhere. Like, okay. I'm a bad Muslim, but yeah, I'm gonna get it together and get back. As you can see, I got my where's my got I don't know which way to go, y'all. This is so backwards. I got my prayer rug out there, so I do try to get it in. I try. I'm trying to be a good person. The struggle is real, and yeah, let me see. Give me your email. Da da da. Thanks for being honest. We need to hear good and bad. Arusha is so green city. I know. I love Arusha. I really absolutely love Arusha. Okay, so the perks about Arusha, not to mention I had a kind of a halfway decent house that was kind of settling and it was crumbling, falling apart, but it was nice. And I had my own private compound. I had my own private water. I had my own private electricity. We had some issues because I guess when they bought the house, it was a frame, a shack of a house. And in 1 week, they upgraded it and fixed it up. And it was just as pretty as this one that I'm living in now. However, once the ground and stuff started settling, my walls started cracking, things started breaking, and my landlord started acting crazy. So she got the cuss out and she didn't understand, why are you so angry? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me get you told. I don't know who y'all think y'all dealing with. Let me get you right in the mind. So things started going bad. And I miss that place. I miss that place. I miss Arusha. I really do miss Arusha. Plus, I was walking those hills, trying to get ready to climb Kilimanjaro. There's no Kilimanjaro over here. There's no Mount Kenya over here. I don't even know what they got over here. But I think I'm an East African. I don't know. All my DNA say I'm from West Africa, but I really, really love East Africa. And so the weather, the climate now, sometime either tonight or tomorrow night. Our highs over here like 97, 99 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's been like 75, 80 at night. So we're about to drop down to the 60s at nighttime. I can't freaking wait. So the weather in Arusha was cool during certain times of the year, like their rainy season or whatever. It was very chilly. And actually, yeah, because I think when I first got to Arusha in July, it got down into the 50s, if not 40s. So I could crochet and do my thing. I could go into town. I had my own particular lady and buy my yarn and do my crocheting without sweating like a mule. Crocheting is about mute over here. It's so freaking hot. Just to even look at yarn makes me sweat. So I can't do that, but I've got a different hobby. I make the coloring books. I'm starting to not just make the coloring books, I'm drawing. So I just completed my second coloring book. That's all my drawings. Today is uploaded. So I'm waiting for approval for that. So I had to find something else to do outside of crocheting because the weather just does not permit me to crochet here. It's just freaking hot. It's hot, and it's hotter. That's the two seasons in Ghana, hot and hotter. Yeah. So anyway, what else? Let's see. Nights in Egypt. Thanks for being honest. We need to hear the good and the bad. Yes, you're welcome. You are very welcome. I mean, it is what it is. Some people may be like, oh, this is. I'm not saying that I hate Ghana because to know, like my first when I started my journey, my conscious journey or whatever, and I started following all these African countries and cultures on Instagram, I fell in love with Ghana. And I thought the men, not for nothing, like the hard time is, yes, I am a lover, not a fighter. But don't push my buttons, then I'll become a fighter and not a lover. I love the men here. I love the culture here. I love the colorfulness, everything about it. And the only thing that I like better than the Ghanaian culture is my Maasai. I love my Maasai. So, I don't hate Africa. I don't hate the countries, nothing. But, everything, everything is not a good fit. And so I'm toughing it out because I paid for a year. So I've got 1 year to figure it out. What am I going to do? And I'll be pushing on. And it had started to cloud up and act like it wanted to rain earlier, but I guess it changed its mind. And now it is like, it's hot again. And so let me see. I'm still reading. I don't know if Find My Niche is in here or not, but so bear with me, y'all. Okay, there is there in Arusha. You can meet up with Arusha. They have been in Tanzania since 1960. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Between Tamale and Dar, where is hotter? Oh my gosh, definitely Tamale. Tamale is hotter than Accra. And I tell people like the Sahara Desert starts like halfway up Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is like 2 hours over my head, even though it's not you're not in the center of the Sahara. It's something called something else, but it's a little piece. But this is the arid starting to be that desert climate over here, and it's disrespectfully hot. I guess 99 is the limit on my thing. Every time it says feels like 99, feels like 99. If it feel like it, it is. I just can't even understand. I love Dar es Salaam. Dar es Salaam, I walked in the morning, I walked in the afternoon or evening, and I did notice that most of the time the people didn't come out and start really moving around till about 5 o'clock. And then one night I went out at about 8 o'clock in search of something that I didn't need. And it was so many people walking up and down my street. So it was really nice. I miss Arusha. I absolutely loved Arusha. And it was easy because if I needed something, they had everything you need. They got everything you need. Here, not so much. Like, they are really behind the times up here in the north. Now, some things that I want, I can probably get it in Accra because Accra had ShopRite. Accra has a mall. We do not have a mall. We don't have shoppers. We ain't got ShopRite. We got Mailcom, and Mailcom is, like I said, ridiculously expensive. And it don't make no sense. Like, it don't make no sense. The prices in Mailcom. I bought that plastic chair in the Mailcom in Boga. I paid 150 CDs for it. And my chairs that I got here, I paid 55 CDs for them. So that tells you the difference. The same, pretty much same plastic chair. So, there's Find My Niece. She had to go get her church service on this morning. Okay, let's see. Totally understandable. Truth over fiction. Hello. How are you? Hope I didn't miss you. Welcome, welcome. I want to move to Africa for the fresh produce. Oh, my neighbors are coming in. They're making noise. Yep. Hey, Golden. Yeah, so that's that. That is all. Let me close my door because it's getting dark and my lights are on, which will be like, welcome mosquitoes. Hold on 1 second. All this stuff dangled up in here. And turn off some of these lights. Woo. Okay. All right. Yeah, I had to turn off. Now, one thing about here is I don't know what kind of lights they use, but these lights, they heat up the spot, and it had got really dark because it was acting like it was going to storm. And so I had to turn the lights on, and I wanted it to be nice and bright. So this one is sufficient. I got a whole bunch of lights up in the ceiling. So yeah. Yeah, I have to get back healthy. I just don't feel 100%. I don't feel sick. I just don't feel 100%. Like, I am really struggling to I had lost so much weight. I was worried that people was thinking I was over here starving, but I ate all the time. I don't see more double R. She's not in here. Anybody that was on my WhatsApp, and I was in Arusha making smoothies and making, because they grow cashews in Tanzania, so it was an abundance of cashews. They supposedly grow them here. I ain't seen nothing but ground nuts. And so I was making sour cream and all sorts of stuff from my cashews and my dates and everything. And I was eating so much better than what I'm eating here. So that is a huge, huge factor. I do not want to get sick. I don't want to, because of poor eating habits. I don't want that on my plate. So that's a major contributor. Nextly, like my rent is reasonable. I pay about half of what I was paying in Kenya and Tanzania. No, is that? Yeah, because I think I was paying like 300 Tanzanian shillings, which at the time was about what I said, like $120, something like that. In Kenya, I was paying about $70. So here, because of the depreciation of the CD, I'm paying about $50 a month. So as you know, in these countries, you pay like a year in advance. You pay one here in Ghana, you pay 1, 2, or 3 years in advance. Very seldomly can you find somebody that'll let you do a 3 or 6 month lease. So yeah. So basically $41 is what I paid per month here. So what I pay for one whole year, people pay in a month in the United States. So that's a thing. And these houses are really nice. And so that's the next thing. Like the craftsmanship in Tanzania and in Kenya. Like these people can work the wood. My doors were beautiful. I had beautiful tables. And, I went and got my stuff from the people on the side of the road. I'm not going to no department store to buy no furniture. I was getting things made from the craftsmen that were in the neighborhood or on the side of the road to support their economy and support the smaller person. And not for nothing, the craftsmanship is amazing. I didn't see nails. I didn't see, like the wood is totally different. So if I had to compare the wood work, like here they got a lot of metal and fiberglass doors. In Tanzania and Kenya, you had teak and cedar doors. You had solid wood doors and lots of woodworking. So here, I was looking. The door got little designs on it. It's not carved. They done took some pieces of wood and pressed it on the door because it's. I was like, "What's that hole?" Okay, y'all doing it like that? Okay, no problem. But things just were much more detailed. And I was just looking at a picture of my house in Arusha. The door was absolutely beautiful. And so that's one of the things here. So they throw stuff up here. So one of the things that's going on here in this house, so our water, Tamale, we have a water flow issue. So the water flows from late Wednesday night to Saturday evening. And I have a tank. So you fill up the tank, make sure your tank is full so that you can go from Sunday to the following Wednesday. And the other week, my tank emptied out. So I think what's happened, my toilet is running. So I think that zapped out my water. That's the only thing I could think of. There's no water nowhere else. They say, make sure you close everything off. So I literally have to go outside, turn on the valve to take a shower, wash the dishes. When I get finished with all that, go back out in that heat and turn off the lever so that I won't lose my water. And yeah, that's a thing. Also, our wall, I keep hearing something creaking. So I look and I call my landlord. I said, the wall is fixing to fall. He said, yeah, I know. Okay. It's beautiful. It's aesthetically beautiful, but it's kind of cheaply built. But anyway. All right, Golden, I'm here. I'm here for another year, at the very least, another year. Okay, one more month. I thought you said you wasn't coming to Ghana. Yes. So if you're going to the South, you're going to be just fine. I promise you. This, Tamale, I don't think it's an area where people, tourists, just gather here. It's really nothing major that I know of that's here that would attract tourists. Now, in the upper eastern region, there's the oldest mosque, and there's these caves that the people hid in to avoid being captured as slaves. I want to go see that before I leave here. That much I do want to do. And the waterfalls, they got a waterfall here, WLI. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's like 120 kilometers from me. And they've got one little safari wildlife place that's also somewhere over by the waterfall. But nothing really appealing or major. And I guess if you go to Kumasi and Accra, you've got these huge, wonderful markets that you can buy fabric and wooden pots and pans and the things to make fufu, all the stuff that you need to cook. They have them there. They make Mboga next door. They make baskets. And like I said, the shea butter is made by hand here. You would think all of that is very appealing. Yeah. Anyway, one of the other things that in Africa as a whole, Paul Kilgami, he told them to cut it out. He said the UK, US quit dumping y'all garbage on us. So one thing that they do have here, as you've seen on my video when I went to the market, they also had a whole block in Arusha. This, not a block, just like blocks that was all used stuff. So these containers come in with the overflow of used goods from the UK and the US, and they clean them up and they resell them here. So you can always have a choice of buying used belongings here. That's a thing here. And it's a thing, it's very common here. Very, very common. Knockoffs, common. I got Chanel and Louis Vuitton knockoff sheets on my bed because I'm like, where's the plain sheets? They don't have any. So, just different climb, different time. But what else? Let me get to my list. Let me see if there's anything on my list that I'm willing to. Oh, so the other day, like they're changing the thing, the price of data is going up. So they've been messing with the computer. So I haven't been able to really work. I'm surprised I'm even online because the past few days, the internet has been super slow and horrible. I talked about that. So yeah, in a nutshell, I made it nice. I prettied it up and made it nice. Any other questions? Hey, Thomas. So that's it. In 2 years, what I've discovered, and so here's me. This is my personal opinion, and this is the way I feel about things. I would absolutely love to visit Senegal, Cape Verde, San Tome and Principe, and where else? Somewhere else. But all these, and Mali. Mali need to calm down. I want to go date. Is it Mali? I think it's Mali. Somebody did a coup. He fine. I want to go date him. He was working for the last man that did a coup, and then he did a coup on him because he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. But brother man is fine. I'm like, I need to go over there and check him out. But this is my personal preference and opinion. I can't stand these French-speaking countries. I went to Togo when I was here in 2019. We went to Togo for 6 days. And it's annoying. Like, in these other countries, they try to speak English and communicate with you. In these French-speaking countries, they don't. It's hard to communicate. And they just speak straight French. And I don't like that. I don't like it. Sorry, that's just me. So that is really like makes those places just not appealing. And I would also like to see Morocco and Egypt and Tunisia, but of course can't go to those places by myself. They just say most people say it's not really safe to do so as a woman, but I don't know if it's because they're not Muslims or if it's just, you know, one thing, let me just state for the record, and I had to just have this conversation also with somebody else. If you're planning to visit these places, I seen my friends went to, not my friends, my people that I grew up with, um, they went to Dubai. Dubai, I don't care how y'all look at it, it's a Muslim country. Just because they don't, um, Dubai is very loose. Like the people there, like it's kind of like they don't follow the rules, but still, be mindful when you go to these countries and they're Muslim countries. You can't be half naked in these countries. So what they started doing in Zanzibar, because the people didn't understand, they don't understand the assignment that when you leave the beach wear at the beach, and we don't want to see your arms, your booty, and your boobs, and being half naked is not sexy. I don't care how you look at it. You're just naked and you showing everything, and then you wonder why people treat you like they treat you. And no, I'm not saying that because I'm a Muslim. I didn't dress like that before I became a Muslim, and I didn't dress like that when I was skinny. Everything is not, my parents used to say, leave something to the imagination, basically. So be mindful when you come to these countries. I still have an issue. Dress appropriately. Because if you were in Europe, in London, in the British countries, that if they had decent weather and they are conservative and they say don't come out in our thing with no spaghetti strap tank tops and all this stuff, that's what they meant. So if you can respect those people, respect your own people and don't come half dressed. It's hot as fire here, but guess what? The least you wear, the hotter you're going to be. So that's that. One. Two, what was I just said something that made me think about, I'm still having an issue with handing people stuff with my left hand. And they be looking at me like, I'd be like, sorry. How did y'all do with that left hand challenge? It's hard, especially if you standing to my left. I'm gonna hand you something with my left hand. So I tried, like, can y'all stand over here and maybe my right hand will take over? So that's still a thing, using my left hand. It's really a thing because this area is predominantly Muslims. And they like, no, they get super duper offended. And I'm gonna tell them, well, I'm not wiping my ass with my left hand. So oh, yes, I'm still struggling with that. Yes. BB Biggs, how are you? You're welcome. You have a question. How do you choose the places that you want to visit? For me, I use various suggestions from YouTube. I don't know. I just look at stuff. Like I follow just about every, you can follow hashtags on Instagram. That's why I really like Instagram versus Facebook. Facebook is basically people that I grew up with and my family members. But on Instagram, I can follow anything. So what I do is I follow the hashtags. I follow just about every country's hashtag on Instagram. I also follow the Africa hashtag, Zulus, Maasai, whoever, any culture that I could think of. And whatever looks appealing, that's what I go for. Now, how I ended up in Zanzibar was it started off with there was something that happened in either Sudan or Somalia or Ethiopia or something like that. It was something really bad. And all the women gathered together to pray. And it looked like a sea of the most vibrant oranges and pinks and yellows. They were Muslim sisters. And I was like, ooh, I want to go there. And then I seen something very similar, and it was in Zanzibar, and they were at the beach. And I said, what is that? The beach is beautiful in Zanzibar, but it's not as beautiful as the beach on the coast of Kenya, where I was in Diani Beach. The beaches there are absolutely beautiful. And if you don't know, I am a beach bum. I don't like swimming in swimming pools. I like swimming in the sea and the ocean. That's my thing. I want to see fish. I want to see clear water, white sand. That makes me happy. So usually one based on, do they have any beaches? So, which is really a reason why I don't even know why I'm in Northern Ghana, because there ain't not one beach up here. They ain't even hardly got no running water. So yes, that's a thing. And also, Just what do they have to offer? So honestly, I know I keep saying Kenya and Tanzania, but the difference between Kenya and Tanzania, things in Kenya was cheaper than things in Tanzania. So you're gonna kick out a few $1,000s to go to the Serengeti, and you can go to the Masai Mara for a couple of hundred. You can go to Nairobi National Park on safari for less than $100. Stuff like that. I can catch a train and go from here to here and look at all the places. Kenya has over 29 national parks. Kenya has some of the most pristine beaches. They're so beautiful. And there's not a big crowd because apparently nobody knows about these beaches in Kenya. I don't know, or either they're scared to come to Kenya, but it's not all crowded. Like everybody running to Jamaica, the beach is crowded. Everybody runs to the Bahamas, the beach is crowded. Florida, beach is crowded. The beaches in Kenya was so nice. The only downside about the beaches in Kenya was that the hawkers was out there, and they know that if you come into the beach 9 times out of 10, you are a foreigner, and let us try to sell you something, excursion or something. Beat it. Leave me alone. I come to the beach to relax, and they don't get the message when you say, "I'm not interested." No, I don't want it, and they will literally follow you down the beach. I had a guy stand there at my stuff. Which if you want to take it, it's pink. And he said, "Madam, I sat here and I watched your stuff, make sure nobody stole it." Okay, and I didn't tell you to do it, didn't invite you to do it. When you said that's what you was doing, I said no, and I walked away, and you stood there on your own. And they were like, "Oh, you can give him something." I can't give him nothing because I didn't tell him to stand there. And I know how y'all roll, so I came out here with little or nothing. Which you gonna get away with my bag? I didn't pay for it. I got it for free. Stuff like that. That's irritating. Even the young man from Nairobi, he was with his wife. He was like, they really need to do something about these people. We Kenyans and whatever they got trying to sell, we don't want none. We just want to come to the beach and relax. Exactly. Nobody wants to be just, harassed. And even you get in the water and they stand there at the edge of the water and wait for you to get out. Like, really? Are you stuck on stupid? That was a pet peeve of mine in Kenya. But other than that, beaches, what else do they have to offer? I want to see stuff. I want to see historical stuff. I want to see beautiful landscapes. I love mountains and hills, and as much as I love the beach. So that's how I ended up in Arusha. Arusha was lush and green, and it was less than an hour from Mount Kilimanjaro. And when I come out and walk up to the main road, which was like a block, I could look over to my left and look at Mount Meru, looking all majestic and heavenly. I truly felt it. I'm a nature person. I am truly a nature person. BB, maybe we had a lag, but hello. I think hopefully I answered your question. Any other questions? And I like that. See, y'all see how BB came up in here? BB Big came up here and asked a question. Participate. But yes, so that's that. So I think if push comes to shove, I might consider Botswana. Anybody, know somebody that went to Botswana? If push comes to shove, I mean, that's the thing. These are all doable. Still East Africa. I'm just saying, I just have this feeling. I got a feeling. And we ain't going to be stuck over here in West Africa permanently. I came here for a reason, and it's reasons and season. And as far as I'm concerned, this season gonna be up in a year. So that's that. Y'all, anything else? Because it's over an hour. I try to, keep it short, And so let me state, I have no sponsors. I give my unsolicited opinion about things that I have actually gone through and encountered. Anybody catching attitudes and feelings, don't catch none of that. Catch a flight and go somewhere and figure it out for yourself and see how you get treated. I am a single female traveling this continent of Africa. I love it. I absolutely love it. But sometimes you just gotta, make serious decisions. So I got a year to get it together, get that passive income. Thank you all for buying my coloring books. They still on sale. And if you bought one and you didn't leave a review, what's the problem? What's up? What up with it? Leave a freaking review. Be like my sister. She slammed me like, but that's her honest opinion. Do what you got to do. Okay. Um, I didn't put no link in the thing. I'm trying to figure out. So I'm trying to do this marketing thing, but I don't know what I'm doing. I got some great ideas. I've got great ideas for anything, for lots of things. I'm talking to people. But if you want to succeed and grow and do things, surround yourself with like people. Real simple. It took me 2 years to figure something out. I'm getting it. I'm getting it, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely enjoying it. So that is today's live chat. My 2 years in Africa, my opinion on people, the way they, to me, it's like really weird up here. The people are weird, in my opinion. You know, like I said, everything is not for everybody. And no, yes, some people in the United States think that the ways of the United States is the only way and the best way. It's not. I don't agree with that thought concept, but I also don't agree with anybody else thinking that their way is the only way as well. So with that, dear Ghanaians, I don't need an effing husband, okay? Especially one that thinks that I'm supposed to take care of him, because if I got to give you my money, if you have to ask me for my money, and if you think that I'm supposed to take care of you, you are no longer my man, you are my son, okay? Take that to the bank. Chew on that, put that in your craw and eat it. You less than a man if you out here asking a woman for some money. And if you think a woman is supposed to take care of your grown sheep ass. I said what I said. Now, with that being said, y'all, we gonna keep it positive always. I'm just saying. And no, that wasn't geared towards anybody in particular, but this is the mindset. Y'all think y'all come over here and you're the hottest thing, you know, the best thing since sliced bread, and you got it going on because all these men are paying you attention. They paying you attention because they want something. They want a trip to the United States. They want some money. They want a better way of life, and they think that you're going to give it to them as an American. I'm just saying, yeah, one of them might love you, might, maybe, you know, and be honest and legit. Kudos to you. The words of Tina, what's love got to do with it? All right. Yes. To Google your books because I don't have any children. They're adult coloring books, Thomas. They're adult coloring books. They are for adult relaxation and stress relief, you know, because being an adult kind of sucks, paying bills and being stressed out all the time. So this is just a way to relieve your stress, self therapy type deal, self care, self love, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, these their last book that's been approved, Ugly Art, my Ugly Art series, is actually everything, and there's hand drawn by moi. And so, you know, support your girl. Yes. Now, my friend, her granddaughter did color the snot out of one of my first, the modern, I think the modern art book or the flower book. She did a really good job. She like four. It was nothing, you know, some people like to do all that Mandela stuff and intricate. I can't even look at it without getting a headache. No, Thomas, we're friends. So that's what they call it. And my thought process is adult coloring book just doesn't sound really good, but that's what they Mr. PH. Yes, you know, uh, I'm grown. So I thought the same thing. I'm like, I'm going to put in adult coloring book one day and I'm going to get an eye full. But yeah, yes, that's a thing. All right, y'all. Let me go see if my chicken, well, it's too late now. I ain't cooking nothing. Oh, it's only 6:20, but I still ain't cooking nothing. So I got an apple and some ground nuts. Oh, look at the ground nuts. It says sweet and ain't nothing sweet about it. Oh, this backwards. Yeah, ground nuts, peanuts, but they're a little harder. Yeah. All right. Oh, and this is probably my goodie jar. And don't worry, it's got like my Werther's Originals, and it's got some biscuits, crackers. We need crackers for the cheese and crackers. But these little biscuits, they're shortbread biscuits. And y'all, These are the only ones that I found that I could eat that don't taste like cardboard. So, in the US, we do too much sugar and we do too much salt. So when you come here and they don't call them cookies, they call them biscuits. And they call them biscuits for a reason because this is nasty. But those are actually pretty good. Those might taste like the Girl Scout shortbread cookies. And, me personally, I don't think those are that great either. Give me a real shortbread cookie. Um, yeah. So, all right, y'all. It's been real and I'm sweating like a mule. So I got to peel out of some of these clothes. Thank you all for coming. I guess I'll put a link in the description box of this video for the coloring books. I think I just uploaded my 8th book. I got 2 notebooks. So please be careful. If you go and search my name, Kimberly Peterson, on Amazon to buy my books. 2 of those books, the travel one and the, I don't even remember. It's a travel one and some, those are just plain line notebooks. They're not coloring books, okay? All the rest of the stuff is coloring books. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Natty girl. Yes. All right. Love y'all. Yes. We'll talk next week. If I see something special and amazing during the week, I'll post a video. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming.